You know, Donald Trump wakes up one morning and he says, I'm not going to help Africans. I'm not going to give them the funds that I've been giving them all this time. I'm cutting these funds. I'm not going to give it to them. And you know, there's some Africans who are complaining, rather, they're crying. Donald Trump has said he's not going to give us funds. He's not going to give us money. The aid that has been given to Africans, he's not going to give it to us. And so you find there are some Africans who are complaining. So you're an African, you're complaining. Why are you complaining? I think I should congratulate Donald Trump. Wherever you are, Donald Trump, salute you. I salute you. I give you a big shout out, a big shout out. I just want to salute you so much for what you've done. Whatever you've done is so good and so wonderful and so nice because Africans should learn. I want to listen to what the former president of Kenya, the former Kenyan president, Mr. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, what he said about this. Just listen to it.
I saw some people the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bwana. This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves? Instead of crying, tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya, ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things.
And Africans who are complaining because Donald Trump decided he's not going to give the aids, he's not going to supply the things he's been supplying to Africa. People who are complaining because of that, I would say you have a problem. You need to change. You need to recycle your mind. You need to come back to your senses because that's definitely being out of sense. Africans should now learn to depend on themselves because you need to be depending on yourself. You need to not to depend on people because you have depended on people. Africa should have been independent a long time ago. Like this issue of being independent as Africans should have happened 30 years ago. And right now, we shouldn't be we would not be complaining about being denied funds, being denied aids. When you're talking about aids, we have many aids that United States of America has been given to Africa. Number one, listen to this. We have military aids. This one comes whenever there is security instability and all those things. Okay, matters concerning terrorism and all those things. That is where military aid comes from. We have food when there is anger in the country and many other things like those ones. Foods will be supplied. Okay. We have pharmaceutical aids. This one is on the medicine. So Donald Trump wakes up one morning and says, "You know what, guys? I'm not gonna give you these things. You have to depend. You decided not to follow the things that I'm telling you. I'm asking you to do 1, 2, 3 things. You don't want to do it. So I'm not going to give you these things." Yeah. You know, the people who help people under conditions. They call it help, but they put conditions. Let me tell you something. When you're helping people, you don't put conditions. Conditions only apply on people you're not helping. Maybe on contracts, I'm helping you under a certain thing. You do this, then I help you, then I give you help. That's not help. That's not help. Help is when you give someone help without payment and without anything. You just find out someone is going through a certain problem, a certain difficulty, and then you decide, I'm gonna help this person. Okay, I'm gonna help this person get out of whatever he's going through. That is help now. But this other one where you put conditions, that won't help. So Africans should know that United States of America under Donald Trump and under Joe Biden, under Barack Obama, and many other presidents who have been there, they've never helped Africans. Yeah, Africans should know that they've never helped Africans out of help. Yeah, they've been helping. They've been giving things under conditions. It's like you're paying for it. Listen, when someone tells you or gives you something and then you pay for it, it doesn't matter which payment or which how you pay it. But anyone gives you something and then you give another thing in return, that's not help. That's not help. Help is when someone you don't pay it and he gives you willingly. He feels like you're going through a certain misfortune or rather a certain problem, and then he decides, I'm going to help this person get out of this problem. That is now help. Without any condition, without telling you, I'm doing this, now you do this. Okay? That's help. But this other one is no help. So whatever US under Donald Trump, under Biden, under Barack Obama, under all those other presidents who've been there before, whatever they did, yeah, anything they have been doing to Africa is not help. Okay? You've been paying for it. And so if you've been paying for it, it means you can stand for yourself. And so they've decided now they're going to cut it. They're going to cut that help, whatever they're calling help in quotes, okay? It's help, but in quotes. So whatever they've been calling help, that whatever, that thing you say, they've been calling it help, it's not help. So whatever it is that it is, they're not giving you anymore. Those aids, those money funding, and all those things, they've decided they're not gonna give it to you anymore. They've cut it. Where are they cutting it? They're cutting it because Africa, you have decided you're not going to support these people. You're not going to support these people. They're telling you go left, you go right. You're being ignorant. Okay? Africans are being ignorant. Nowadays, Africans are people with pride. They don't want to listen to their masters. Okay? You don't want to listen to your bosses. Your boss is asking you to go left, you're going right. What the fuck? Which kind of a person are you? You don't want to follow your boss, okay? Is that right? Now your boss is telling you now, I am the boss. Donald Trump is telling you, I am the boss here. And the fact that I am the boss now, you have to listen to me. If you cannot listen to me, then you're in trouble. That is what the boss is saying. You have to listen to me. If you cannot listen to me, you're in trouble. So you decided you're not going to listen to me. And now that you're not going to listen to me now, I'm not going to give you some 1, 2, 3 things. Yeah, and then Africans are crying, saying, "Oh, now America has decided we're not going to get some 1, 2, 3 things from them. They're not going to give us money. They're not going to fund us. They're not going to give us the aids. They're not going to give us money to develop our countries and infrastructures. Okay, now you're gonna, what? Why are you crying?
I saw some people the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying?
Sometimes you're becoming stupid when you cry over things that do not make sense. Africa is rich. Africa is rich in minerals, is rich in resources, is rich in assets. You would have learned to depend on yourself 30 years ago. This is not something that you now begin talking about it right now. Really? It is something you would have planned. You would have spoken. You'd have talked about it. You'd have like something you'd have sold a long time ago. Now you're being used like a tissue paper. I say that every day. And being dumped. Listen, you're being blackmailed by US under Donald Trump denying you these all things. It's a blackmail. You're being blackmailed. Like you're being asked, if you don't do this, I'm not going to give you this. Okay? That's a blackmail. You're being driven like a puppet. Okay? Like children. Children are the people you tell them, I will beat you if you don't come here. Okay? Then he comes. That is threatening him or threatening them. Okay? Or you tell them, come, I'll give you sweet. Baby, come, I'll give you sweet. They come. We tell them, baby, if you don't come, I'm not going to buy you sweet. If you don't come, I'm not going to buy you chocolate. What do? They come. So, you see, Africans are being driven like kids. Kids. You have been denied all those things because you went in contrary with what the United States of America want. Okay? They're telling you now, sometimes they're telling you now, you have to do this. You don't do it. So they decide, we're not going to give them funds. We're not going to help them. That is why you're not being helped. Donald Trump said he's going to cut these aids and these fundings for the next 3 months. For the next 3 months, you will have suffered to an extent now. You will have no other way than to go back to them and tell them, we have raised our hands high. We are saying sorry to you. You guys, you need to continue helping us. That's what they want you to do. And now when you get there kneeling down, they tell you now, you need to do 1, 2, 3 things for us before we give you help. That is blackmail. That's what we call now blackmail. You're being blackmailed. Okay? Black people being blackmailed by white people. Yeah? Really? Okay. Let me not talk about that. But you don't have to tell us to do something that's not good so that you can be able to help us. Eh? We don't have to follow your bad deeds and support you when you're doing wrong. You cannot force us to support you when you're doing wrong so that you can help us. That's using us. And being used is something we don't want. We don't really want. We don't want for real. Do you want to be used? Personally, I don't want to be used because there are things that are being used. When you use them, you throw them away. You can't use them again. That's a joke. Don't get it serious. Yeah, but we're being used, and being used is not good because I don't have to tell you to go and steal money, or rather to go and beat someone else without a mistake, so that I can be able to give you food. Because if you don't do that, you'll sleep hungry. Okay? I don't have to tell you to go out there and walk around abusing people so that you can come and I give you shelter, because if you don't do that, you'll sleep outside. That's a blackmail. That's what the United States of America under Donald Trump is doing to Africans. You have to support me whether I'm right or wrong. Do you need my help? Do you need my help? Yeah, I need your help. So if you really need my help, you have to go around abusing people so that I can be able to give you this help. If you don't do that, I'm not going to give you help. Which is very bad. It's not good at all. It's not very good. That's not very good. Yeah, that's not very good. So Africans should learn to depend on themselves. We have everything Africans have got. I think Donald Trump should be congratulated. Kenyans Kenyans, you need to do what you normally do best. I don't know where you're gonna get Donald Trump's phone number, because Kenyans are crazy people. Let me tell you something. When people were breaking into the parliament here in Kenya, when Mr. Kasongo had really made people angry during the finance bill, people went to parliament. Gen Z, they went to parliament. And when they were going to parliament, they were looking for those MPs who voted yes to the finance bill, because the Gen Zs were the anti-finance bill 2024-2025. And so the Gen Z went to parliament. They demonstrated, they went to parliament. They were going for those members of parliament who voted yes to the finance bill. And so you see, these people are very dangerous. They used to get their numbers. Wherever they got those numbers, we don't know. Whoever gave it to them, we don't know. So they were greeting them. They were greeting those MPs. They greet them. They call you saying, "Yeah, you voted for finance bill, okay? Are you one of the people who voted for it? We know you are the one of the people who voted for it. How are you doing?" You see, they just greet you. So when they greet you, it means they're instilling some fear in you. They even went ahead to an extent of getting the number of Mr. President. They were calling him, telling him, "How are you, Mr. President? How are you doing now?" That's very bad. That's very bad. They used to call pastors in there and tell them, if we see those politicians in that church, we will come there and we'll mess you up. And so even religious leaders had to tell these political leaders not to go to church because they had been greeted by the Gen Zs. That's so Gen Zs, Kenyan, especially Kenyan Gen Zs, try and get Donald Trump number and wish him and tell him congratulate him. Tell him congratulations because whatever has done is so good. Africans should now depend on themselves. You have everything that it takes. Okay? You suffer and now begin depending on yourself. Now your minds are being open. You see this medulla oblongata is being open. Yeah. I think I need to tell Trump to stop giving those aid forever, not 3 months. Stop it and stop it. Cut it completely. Cut it completely. And you, Donald Trump, don't think now you're making Africans suffer. You need also to know that Africans are not suffering. Okay, you're not making them to suffer. You know, sometimes you're doing that because you think you're making them suffer. No, you're opening their minds. You're telling them, are you guys, you can actually do this. Because Donald Trump is supporting Ibrahim Traore because Ibrahim Traore is among his people. He is on the side of wanting Africa to be independent. Ibrahim Traore wants Africa to be independent. That is what Ibrahim Traore wants, Africa to be independent. Okay? And how is Africa going to be independent? Africa is going to be independent if Africa stops depending on the Western powers. For example, if Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania will stop depending on the United States of America for some 1, 2, 3 things, it means these 3 countries will start being independent. Okay? Ibrahim Traore is after countries being independent, standing for themselves, countries of Africa, Africa in particular, being an independent continent. That is what Ibrahim Traore is fighting for today. Okay? And simply because Africans cannot, and African politicians, African leaders cannot cut ties with the Western powers and white man supremacy, they need to continue asking them for help. They can't cut ties with them. They want to continue asking help for them. Africa can no longer be independent because we have greedy leaders, we have greedy people, presidents who are very greedy. They don't care about people, they care about themselves, they don't care about whatever is happening, it's none of their business. They only want to care about themselves. Okay? So they continue all other time going to these people for help, and in return they give something. Okay? And so by Donald Trump cutting like these aids, stopping giving aids and funding Africa, by him doing that, it means these countries that depend on him will have to now depend on themselves by force because they don't have otherwise. No money is coming from the US, no medicine from the US, no military aid from the US, no nothing from the US. Okay? No infrastructure, no development. So what will happen? They will force themselves they will be forced to depend on themselves. Once they start depending on themselves, now the dream and the vision of Ibrahim Traore starts coming to light. And I think Ibrahim Traore is a kind of man who is praying for Africa because everything and every vision he has for Africa, it starts happening in a certain way, okay? He's been wanting this for all his life. Now, every country that depended on the United States of America is not going to get anything from the US anymore. If that is what was making you to exist, you're not going to exist. You need to find another way of existence. Build another strategy. Come up with another strategy. Use everything you have to make sure you're standing again, because US has left you aside a little bit. When they come after 3 months back to us, we will be somewhere. Okay? And so that is what needs to be done. Africa should be independent. Africa should stand for itself. Africa should stand for itself. It should be independent. We have a lot of things. We need to start doing things our own way. Okay? Because you see, we can't be told to do things that are not good so that we can be helped. We don't do bad things to get help. Okay? We don't do bad things to get help, to be helped. No. We don't do bad things to get money. No. Do not justify a wrong because you want to get something from someone. Just know that there's nothing good that comes easy. You must work for it. So they have been giving us some things. They've been giving us some money. They've been funding Africa. But again, we needed to give out something. Whatever we needed to give, okay, is what we failed to give. And that is why we're not being given whatever we wanted right now. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that is happening. That is what is happening. So we need to check out on ourselves, and we need to show these people that actually we don't need them to be able to survive. We don't need them to be able to be the kind of people we are today. We need ourselves, and we can do it by ourselves. They should, in fact, go away completely. They should never come back. These military bases that are in Africa belonging to them should leave, should be taken away. Let them take everything. Let them live with everything. Okay? Yeah. Thank you, Donald Trump. Congratulations. We're doing a good job. Whatever you've done is good, is wonderful, is sweet. Donald Trump, wherever you are, congrats. I'm going to get your number and congratulate you because you've done a good job. Africans need to depend on themselves. Because if Africans don't depend on themselves, they're going to die. Okay? We have everything that we need to be able to depend on ourselves. So Africa should depend on itself. Adios, muchachos, guys. Have a good night. It's night here.